Hi everybody, good afternoon. This is Corey Waters from the REMAX Welcome Home team. Today we're in HomeBridge Financial. We're going to be talking with Robert Wilderotter, and Maria's going to be asking him some questions, going to be talking through some renovation loan options that we can offer to potential buyers. Right?
Thanks. Thank you, Maria Rini from the Welcome Home team at REMAX. And we're here today at HomeBridge Financial to talk to Bob because of what is occurring in the market. We've got incredibly low interest rates, we've got low inventory, and we've got an increased demand for homes right now. And buyers are just getting beat up. And one of the reasons that they're losing so many homes is those homes that are in the most demand are those that are done. So there's more competition for those homes. One way that buyers can compete better for those homes is by kind of taking a left turn and considering a renovation loan. So we're here today to talk to Bob from HomeBridge Financial. What is a renovation loan? How can we take advantage of this?
Hi Maria, thanks for having me. So a renovation loan is a conventional or a government loan. There are two programs that we offer. One is known as the 203K loan, which is an FHA product that works with 3.5% down payment. We can use it on single family, condominiums, 2 to 4 families as well, owner occupied. And then we have for conventional versions for primary residence and second homes as well.
Super. So Bob, let's pretend I've got a buyer who's found the perfect neighborhood, but the wrong house maybe. How does this work for them?
So, you know, a big magnet for why people want to live in a town or be in a certain neighborhood is they want the schools or access to their commuting for their jobs, close to shopping, etc. So you can't change the location of a home, but you can change the home. So these products will allow you to buy a house that is in, it's either too small, or it's in poor shape, it needs to be connected to the public sewers or water, or you need to replace a septic, remove oil tanks, all sorts of problems a lot of people don't want to deal with. And we have the mortgage that will let you buy the property and fix it up the way you want it, so it's your dream home.
Okay, so Bob, can you kind of walk us through the math? Give us an example of how this would work.
Sure. So, you know, we'll take a house that's in a neighborhood where you want to live. Let's use an example of a cape or a ranch that's $350,000.
Can I stop you for just a minute, Bob? Let's pretend my buyer is really in the hotbed of this market, and they're looking for something in the 550, 600 range. So how does this work?
So as you had pointed out before, this price point is it's just been overrun with buyers in that price point, and so it's much more difficult to get your offer accepted. So if you aim at something that's in the neighborhood you like, go for a house that's perhaps too small or it's obsolete. It doesn't work for your household, and so we could take this small house and turn it into the type of house you want to do by offering the renovation loan product. So in this example, we're buying it at $350,000. It could be $400,000. These products will go up to $726,000 in northern New Jersey for a single family. You need to put down a minimum of $17,500 for conventional, and it could be even less if we use the FHA version. There's your mortgage, $332,500, and that's the principal and interest payment. So that's not what our buyer was looking to do. They want to add a level, they want to put out a garage, they want to do all sorts of things. So we gave them a budget of say $200,000. We can finance 5% of the acquisition price and the improvements, and then we mortgage $522,500. So you're putting out $10,000 more, roughly. Your payment's going up by about $800 a month. And essentially you are building a brand new house. So we find that people get what they want. There's built-in equity because, as you had mentioned before, people want toothbrush ready homes. They want to just move in or do nothing. That has a value, so people will overpay for that. You're doing all that work for them and building wealth for yourself.
Right. So in this case too, you're going to have less competition on the house that's not quite perfect. Bob, so to make this house into this house, you're going to need a contractor. How does that work with this product?
So we start with a consultant who is also a home inspector. They can be found on the FHA site. They'll inspect the house, see what has to be done, and then you tell them what you want to have done. They'll help you arrive at a budget. Then they'll help you shop the plans for a contractor. So you put bids out to the contractor and make sure that we find someone that knows how the FHA or the home style product works. And they do work, there's draws issued, and then they get paid as the work progresses. So we do come up with plans, we get a budget arrived at, and we have an appraiser come, review the plans, and make sure you're not overbuilding in a particular neighborhood and making a losing proposition. So this house needs to be able to be supported in this neighborhood. And as long as that works, everything can be financed all in here. We can even finance 6 months of mortgage payments if you can't live in the house while all sorts of work is being done. If there's enough room in there, if the value is established, that can be done as well.
Wow, so that's exciting, Bob. So you're saying you're protected as the borrower because the contractor is vetted, and you're protected because the contractor is being paid as the work is completed.
That's right.
And they're studying the neighborhood and the improvements that you're going to do to make sure that the value is there for the house and you're not over improving.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want to over improve in a market. So further, the consultant we use will also be the one that inspects the work as it gets done. So it's not just he does his report, disappears. Depending upon the extent of the improvements to be done, they may show up 4 or 5 times and give you up to a year to build this house. So as the work progresses up to 5 draws, they'll come and they'll make sure it's done in a workmanship-like manner and make sure they didn't divert from the original budget. And then we issue a check within 48 hours of him saying everything's worked out just fine as it's supposed to be. The check is made out to both the homeowner and the contractor, so nobody is disappearing with the money. We all get paid and we agree that that's what's supposed to happen. And this keeps happening and happening until the house gets a CO and is finished. The last draw is issued, we have a cushion built in case there's cost overruns. If there's money left over, we reduce the mortgage amount. If there's not enough money, that's another problem, but that's something we need to factor in there. It's usually 10 to 15% is put into that budget. So we normally hit that dead on, not a problem.
Okay. And Bob, so this would be an example of a pretty big project, right? A 350 house, a $200,000 improvement. Give me something on the small side. How low can you go?
I'm doing one right now where they need to replace the septic system and then they decided to put the air conditioning in as well. So that project's only going to be about $40,000 on a $200,000 purchase price. So it could be huge up to $726,000, or it might be as little as $500 if you just wanted to get some appliances switched out. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but that is available if you wanted to do that.
So we have a question from Facebook Live. What if the contractor doesn't know anything about renovation loans?
You're best to work with a contractor that has experience with them. They are used to getting paid quicker than what these products allow. So an experienced contractor that has worked with a 203K or home style knows that they have to have the inspector come out, the consultant, and he okays the work and then a draw check is issued. So as long as that contractor can operate that way and is not on a threadbare budget and possibly go broke, you probably are better off using a different contractor that can wait for the payments and still keep his crews going.
As a follow-up to that, are there approved contractor lists that maybe HomeBridge works with right now that they could work off of rather than you finding your own?
We would not recommend contractors. There's issues. If something goes wrong, we're the ones liable, but we've worked with quite a number of them. They can tell you who they have. The consultant also has a list of who he's worked with, and if he's going to recommend those that he has worked with successfully, he's going to want you to sign a non-disclosure agreement or a hold harmless agreement rather. So if it doesn't work out with that contractor, he's not liable. So everyone is essentially a wannabe lawyer, but we have to be careful what we do. But the contractors will know going through the paperwork process because they have to give a detailed list of the work they're going to do. The material and the labor are all included in the budget, and if they can't put those numbers together, you probably need to move on to a different contractor.
Right. And we've worked with several contractors for clients in this process. We've had a client build one room onto a house. They were missing a dining room in their picture perfect house. And so that's just an example of one of the projects that we've done. But we've worked with contractors several times doing various projects and can certainly recommend.
There's a lot of good contractors that can do that. They're regulated. The process for a contractor to get approved is not very rigorous. They need to have insurance. They need to be licensed. That's it. That's the only requirement we have.
And clearly they need to be able to navigate the paperwork that's necessary and spell out exactly what they're doing. So it's a slightly higher level of expertise, I would say. And your Uncle Joe doing it part-time on the side is not the guy who's going to be doing this job. So Bob, timelines for various projects.
I just want to talk, just go back for a second. Uncle Joe cannot do your contract work. It cannot be a relative. I do come up quite often with people that work in the industry and want to do it themselves. We can't pay you to do your own work. So we have to imagine that whoever the contractor is, if he fails to do the work, we're going to have to pay fair market price to replace that contractor with someone else. So anyone getting a deep discount, they're not going to meet the budget requirements. We're going to make sure that you have enough there for a third-party, unaffiliated contractor doing the work. And you had asked about the timelines. So the timelines are, once you've identified a house, you would then have a consultant come in who does a home inspection and prepares a scope of repair report. That could take a week or two. You can purchase a home. Normally in this market, people expect 45 to 75 days to find a house, go under contract, and close. I would say add about 15 days extra to this process, only because the contractors, if they don't know who they are yet, or the architects yet, you need time to get together and make sure they're available to do the paperwork on that. But it does work right in line with a regular mortgage. I would say you're looking at about a 75 to 90 day process from beginning to end.
And how about that work completion?
Work completion, we give you up to a year to do the work. So some of the jobs can be done in a matter of just 30 days, and others might take an entire year because of weather-related items or inspections. Adding a level, putting on a garage, and essentially doubling the size of the property is going to push out to close to a year. And we have had people go beyond a year, and we've been able to work with them to continue that process so that they're not out of money, etc. We do use it's a one-time close, so all the money is gathered at one time. We hold back the escrows in an escrow account the amount to pay for the construction. So you take possession of the property. Now you're home. So you close. The attorneys are done. The realtors are done. Now you own the house, and it's you and your contractor and us with the consultant that are going to keep feeding money as the project progresses and the inspections go along. It's one closing, as I said, and then in the end, all the money is released for the final draw, or it reduces the principal balance.
So on the buyer's end, it's just one payment, right? Like any other normal mortgage payment, you pay your monthly payment.
It is one payment. It's your taxes and insurance are included in the payment along with that. So it's principal and interest. In this example, it's a down payment less than 20%, so there is going to be PMI or mortgage insurance for FHA as it's known if it's less than 20% down for conventional.
Okay. Any other questions from Facebook Live?
Nope. No other questions right now.
Okay.
All right.
So this is, again, it's available 1 to 4 family properties and on condominiums. It can be done. Obviously, you can't do this on a condominium, but you can do reflooring, new appliances, perhaps move some walls around, etc., to make the condo or townhouse more to your liking.
Okay. So if you find that less than perfect house, you walk in and it's like, oh, look at this kitchen. You can do this. You can have the kitchen of your dreams to your specifications and probably have less competition for that house right now. So something to think about. We're happy to field any questions you have, as is Bob from HomeBridge Financial. So
thanks, Maria. Any questions, please contact me. And Just know that these products are great for bank-owned properties and for estates where they just have not been really taken care of very well for very many years. This is the perfect product for that. And you'll notice when they are those type of properties, they'll say cash buyers only or renovation programs only, because they know the house is not lendable in the shape that it's in. So that's why it's very important to get yourself educated about these programs.
Yeah, and excellent point, and to note for our FHA buyers, when you've got that 3.5% down payment and an FHA appraisal will not look kindly on the property you're trying to buy, a 203K is the perfect solution for you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks, Bob.